back to this channel. My name is Omolade Adeyemi. I remain your fashion teacher, the CEO of Blouse Design. In today's training, we are going to teach you how to cut and sew an off-shoulder blouse. This is like the one I'm putting on. This is the off-shoulder blouse. This is the sleeve. I added some embellishment. I use something, a flower to embellish it. So I use a flare sleeve also, and I weave the sleeve. So this is the front and this is the back. So I made the flare box pleat. So if you're new to this channel, please, we need you to subscribe, like, drop your comments, any observation, ask your question. Very important. We need you to ask your questions. Hello, my name is Omolade Adeyemi. I still remain your fashion teacher, the CEO of Blouse Designs. Today is going to be how to sew our off-shoulder blouse. We've drafted the pattern. I've ironed it. I've put in my ST, and for the front, I've ironed it. Put the ST and the wording. You can see the ST under and the wording. I've put in the soft wording on it. For this, this is the side front, which this is the center front. I've ironed it accordingly. This is the center back. I've also ironed it and stained, and this is the side back. So, and this is the down part, which is going to be a peplum. I don't know why I like putting peplum stay. So this is the stay. I've ironed it on it. I've placed it on it, iron it out. So let's get to work. So I want to join the center piece and the side piece together. So let's start with the front. Let's go. So this is the side piece and this is the center piece. So I'm going to remove the pattern and the lining. I'm going to separate the pattern. This is the pattern and the lining on one side. So I'm going to start with the front. So this is the front. This is the center front. So I'm going to join it together by 1/2 inch. But before I join, I need to chop off this excess. Sorry about that. Let me chop it off. So after that, what I'm going to do is to join it together. This side is going to be on this part, and this is going to be join on this side. So I'm going to join it together by 1/4 inch. Before I go, let me fix in my thread. Then let's start. I'm going to start from the down part. You call it from the waistline. So hold the two together equally. Then we'll join it together by 1/4 inch. I'm cutting the thread. So this is the outcome. I'm going to join the other side like this. So this is it. I'm going to iron it out. Use my ball to iron it. So let me set this aside and move to the back. Sorry, I'll move to the front lining. So let's remove the pins and set the pattern aside. So I'll pick one of the side piece, join it with the lining. You make sure it's equal. So I'm joining it by 1/4 inch. You need to be careful and sew the lining exactly the same way you've joined the main fabric. Don't, because it should be this one is lining, you will just join it anyhow. No. Then I want to join the other side. So I'll cut the threads, then move to the back. This is the center back. I'm going to remove the pin, set the pattern and the lining aside. You notice I notch this part. That is the zip side. So this is the side back. I'm removing the pin. And the lining and set it aside. So now the next thing is to join the side back and the center back together. So this side is going to be attached to this side. This part of the back is going to attach to this part of the back. So you need to follow exactly the same way you drafted it out, so that you know which part you're joining to which part, so that you will not place it wrongly. So I'm joining it by 1/4 inch. So I'll do the same thing to the other side. It's going to be here. So that's that about the fabric. We're going to join the lining together now. So this is it. This is it. So this is the center back. So this is going to be here. Now join the lining, the side back and the center back together. So I'll cut the thread. So this one is facing the zip side. This is the zip side, it's facing this side. So this one also, at the end of the day, it has to face each other like this. So it means this side, I'm going to join it like this. I'm going to join the side back to the center back like this, so that the outcome will be like this. So let's join it. I'll put this aside. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to iron each pieces. I'm going to iron everything, iron the front and the back, then come back to the machine. So I've ironed out the fronts. I've ironed it out. You can see I've ironed it out. So I've ironed out the back also. I opened it. I opened up the stitches then I iron it out. So I've ironed the other side. I've ironed everything, which is the front and the back. So the next thing is to turn out the neckline. So I'm going to place it like this. The front is facing the front of the fabric. So I'm going to turn it out by 1/2 inch. So the next thing I'm going to do is to notch it. I need to notch it, top stitch, and move to the back. So I want to chop off a little out of this, the bulginess at the spot. So I'm going to top stitch it. I've notched it. So I'm going to top stitch it now. So let me put this aside so that after sewing the back, I'll iron the neckline together. So this is the back. So let me start with this. So this is the lining for the back. Look at, they're facing each other like this. So, and don't forget, I said our 1 inch for zip, we are not going to sew to that point. So I'm going to measure 1 inch and mark the 1 inch point. So I'm going to start from that point and sew it all through by 1/2 inch. This is the other side of the back. I'm going to measure the zip allowance, which is 1 inch. Then start sewing it from there by 1/2 inch. So I'm cutting the threads. I'll notch it. Then top stitch. So I'm going to iron it out. I'm going to iron it out. So let me do the other side also. So I need to notch it. So I'm going to iron out the neckline now. So before coming back to this and continue sewing. So I've ironed out the neckline for the front and back. This is the back. So I've ironed it out. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to join the shoulder, which is this part. The shoulder of the front and back, to join it together. So I'm going to join it this way. This way. So let me start with this part. You make sure the 2 points align. Make sure these 2 points align. Then I'm going to hold this part down by 1/4 of an inch. So this is it. This is how it's going to come out. Then I'm going to join the other side. Same way. By 1/4. So this is the outcome. This is how it's going to be. So the next thing is to join the sides together. So I'm going to join the sides. The side of the fabric, I'm going to join it together. Then the side of the lining, I'm going to join it together. The same way we've been joining. So it's going to be like this. You make sure you start from the down part. Then we'll measure 1 inch. So the same thing to the other side. Hold it equally here. And sew it down by 1 inch. So let me start from here. The next thing is to join the sides of the lining, the sides. So I've joined, we are done joining the side of the fabric, so the next thing is the lining. So I'm going to hold it this way. So the next thing is to join the other side. I need it to look carefully the way I'm joining it. Like I said, we're starting from the down part. Then measure 1 inch. So I've joined it. We'll cut the thread Sorry, the threads. So this is it. After this, the next thing we are going to do, this is how it's going to be. This is it. So the next thing we are going to do now is to join the down parts of the black material and the lining together. So this is the peplum I want to join to the side, to the down part of my blouse. So I want to notch the fourth side. I want to notch it so that I will know how to sew it at every point. So this is the middle. And I'm now going to fold it into 4. Excluding the zip side. You need to exclude the zip side so that you won't add it as part of what you want to put. So this is it. So after I've knotted it, so I'm going to place it to the down part. Before I place it to the down part, sorry, I've forgotten, I need to join the lining on it. So I need to sew the flare lining on this part. So I've cut the lining. This is the lining. So I want to sew it. I want to join it together to the down part. So let's sew by 1/2 inch. Then I'll iron it out. Then mouse. Attach it to the upper part of our blouse. So this is it. I'm going to sew it down by 1/2 inch. So the next thing I'm going to do is to iron it out on my, I'll take it to the ironing table and go and iron it out. So I'm going to do it the same way we did our box split. So I'm going to fold it down by 1/2 inch. I'm going to iron it out by 1/2 inch like this, so that the length of the lining will meet up with the length of the fabric. So let's go to the machine. So welcome back. I've ironed out my peplum. I've ironed it out and I've pushed it up by 1/2 inch. This is it. This is how it's going to be. I've pushed it up by 1/2 inch so it has leveled up with the length of the material, of the black material. So the lining is now the same length as the black material. So I've ironed it out. I've notched it at every point. So now the next thing is to fix it on our blouse. So let's get started. So I'm going to sew the black material on the upper parts first, then the lining, then I'm going to sew the lining also on the lining. The material is going to go on the material, lining is going to go with lining. So I'm going to start on this point. Before I move on, I'm going to measure the zip allowance, which is 1 inch. Because on this point, we are going to sew it straight to this point. We're going to sew straight line to this point before we move on. So remember, you're going to join it together by 1/2 inch. So I'm dropping it down on this side. So I want to mark the 1 inch outside. I mark it on the upper material. I didn't mark it here. So then I will start placing the pleats. I started with a kiss. So I'm trying to create a pleat, a box pleat. So what I started with is I started with a kiss pleat inside, then the outside is box. So I'm going to continue with it here. I just want it to change a little from the normal blocks, from the arrangement of the normal box pleats I did on the previous lesson. So let's look into what we are doing. So this is it from inside. This is what we are doing. So let's keep moving. I'm trying to manage the material, so I'm trying to manage the VI pleats from the outside. No, it will not affect what you have. Material to it, so this is it. I've ironed my peplum stay on it, added little material also to the lining also. So I want to continue with my pleats now. So please don't let this happen when you're doing yours. Make sure you follow the notch and place your pleats according to the material you have, according to the fabric or the peplum you've cut out. Don't do more than what you have, so that you won't be joining fabric the way I just did. So let's keep sewing. So I want to try and make the pleat not to show inside. So that's all about it. So we're still going to chop off the excess. So this is the outcome. So I need to cut off the threads. So this is the outcome. This is how it's going to end. So I'm going to chop off this excess. I'm going to chop off the excess here. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to pleat on. I'm going to pleat the lining also. So let me start from this side. So I'm going to place it on the upper part of the lining. So let's start from here. You're going to do the same thing, the same way I started with the same way I started the pleating when I was joining it on the main fabric. So it's the same thing I'm going to do here. Hold on, please hold on. In case you don't know, we have an online fashion institute. We are going to teach you full pattern drafting training. We are going to take you from the scratch, how to use your machine, to the climax. You're going to be the best designers in town. For more information, visit our website on www.larichedesigns.com. So I'm done with the lining. I've pleated the lining on it, trying to chop off the thread that was coming out of the upper part of the lining. So I'm going to turn it out now. So this is it on the outside. By the time I iron it out, everything will go back to the way it should. And this is the inside. This is the inside. By the time I iron it out, everything will be the way it should be. So the next thing is to fix our zip. and the sleeve. That's all about it. For the zip, I'm going to measure 1 inch. Because the zip allowance we left there is 1 inch, so we're going to fix it on that point. I hope you still remember the way we fix our zip. So we're going to fix it to this point. Remember we folded 1/2 inch in, so we are going to stop at that point, which is this point. We're going to stop here. I'm going to start the zip from this down part. I'm going to pin it down first. I'm going to pin it down, starting from this 1/2 inch I've folded in. So let's start. Remember, you're going to push the lining aside. You're not going to fix your zip on the lining. So you're going to push it aside. And let's start. Let's go to work. Let's go. So I'm done with this side. I'm going to cut the thread, remove the pins, and do the other side. So I've pinned this down on the other side, but I have to make sure this point, this line and this line aligns together. So I make sure it's aligned together. But before I put it out, before I unzip it, I've already zipped it. I covered the zip. I close it up, draw it up so that to make sure that point align, because it has to align. So after confirming that the 2 points are on the same page, then I can now draw it down so that fixing my zip will be convenient for me. So cut the thread, remove the pins, then fix up the lining. So after this, the next thing is to turn it out with our lining, to turn the zip side with our lining like this, so that at the end of the day it will be like this, to cover up like this. So I'm going to come through the armhole, bring it out from the armhole. And fold it to that point that the zip is. And make sure these points align with this. If possible, you can pin that one down because it has to align. So after that, I'm going to join back the neckline, the 1 inch I lose. I'm going to sew it down by 1/2 inch. So cut the threads and chop off the excess zip. And I'm going to turn it out from the same armhole. So this is it. This is it. So I'm going to do the other side. So let's join the other side. I'm going to go in from the armhole. So let's join it down. After that, I'm going to join the neckline by 1/2 inch. Same process, same thing. Cut off the threads and chop off the excess zip. Then I'll turn it out. Let me chop off this thread here. So I want to use my scissors to bring out that corner because it's trying to be difficult because of the peplum stay. It's making it too hard to push out. So that's all about the zip. So the last thing we're going to do is to fix the sleeve. So the last thing here is the sleeve. This is the zip side. So let's fix the sleeve and call this a day. So the next thing the sleeve is a peplum sleeve. that is just going to drop like that. So, and it's going to be pleated around the circumference of the armhole. So now I want to join the sleeve together by 1 inch. So I'm looking for the, okay. So after fixing the sleeve, I'm going to take it to a weaving machine and weave the down parts round it. I'm going to weave it out on our weaving machine. So by the time, after weaving it, I'll show you the outcome. So I'm going to hold this down by 1 inch. Then the other sleeve also. So the next thing is to sew it around the sleeve. Sew it around the arm also. This is the sleeve. I want to make this part a gather. I want to gather the upper part that I'm going to join to the armhole. So I want to gather it out. So I've bring out enough thread for both for both the upper thread and the down thread. So I have to bring out excess so that it will be enough for me when I'm trying to gather it. So after that, I'll open up this part. I want to open it up and place my thread, place the needle, and I'm going to bring this down to the lowest stitch. So you don't need to bring it up so that it will, we don't need a tiny stitches, so we need it to be very loose. So let's go. I'm not sewing up to half inch, trying to make it 1/4 of an inch stitches, because by the time I join it to the armhole, so that it will give me, I will be able to sew it on that ½ inch point, so that we won't be having thread showing outside of the sleeve. No, gathered is a long thing, it's a long process, but the outcome is always beautiful. So make sure this other thread also is more than enough for you to gather it, then we can cut. So I'm going to put this aside to do the other part of the sleeve. So I'm bringing enough thread out for a gather. I've torn it out. Then open up this part. The same way I did the first one is still the same way I'm going to do this. So I'm going to bring out thread here also. Then I'll cut it. So the next thing is to start with the gather. So I'm going to keep pushing it like this. I'm going to draw the thread like this. As you're drawing it, you're pushing the one you've done inside. You make sure the thread does not cut. If the thread cuts, you're going to start all over again. The whole thing has to be 15.5 inches. So you need to keep doing it till the whole circumference is 15.5. And don't forget, that's the circumference of my own armhole, not it doesn't mean that that will be the circumference of your own armhole. Remember, it's an off shoulder, so don't start meditating, don't start thinking about is my armhole 15.5? No, it's because I have 15.5 because it's an off shoulder. So I've gathered the sleeve to the circumference of my armhole. This is 15.5, and the other one also is 15.5. So I can now cut off the thread. In fact, it was just one side of the thread that I made, so the other part is not really useful. So now I want to fix the sleeve. I'm going to hold these parts together, then look for the hair, the side, the joining of my sleeve, and place it on this part. I need to be careful with the sleeve so that the gather will not lose up. So I want to start from the other side. I want to continue from the other side so that it will be easy and convenient for me. That's all about the sleeve of this side. This is it. This is the outcome. This is the outcome. So I'm going to do the other side. This is it. So I'm going to sew down the other side. Now I'm going to fold this side together. Pick the joining of my sleeve. This joining will have to match up with the joining here. So we're done with the sleeve. We're done with the sleeve. So after I weave it out, I'll show you the outcome. So this is our sleeve. So our off-shoulder dress blouse is ready. So this is it. So I'll iron it out. Then that's all about it. We appreciate you for watching every of our videos. Please, if you're new to this channel, we need you to subscribe, like, drop your comments, and don't forget, at every point of achievement there will be a giveaway. So please keep watching, keep sharing with love, drop your comments, ask your question. Thank you.